Gonna keep going with our next guest.
Absolutely. Up next, we have one of the most sought after and one of the most beloved musicians locally. It's Jordan Musycsyn.
Thank you, guys. It wasn't love at first sight, but it wasn't far from it. And the flowers in the field swayed along with the music. I felt a buzz just looking at her. Well, she was walking up the hill with her sister and her cousin, and her hair flowed behind on a summer breeze. I wiped the sun out of my eyes, and I took the Lord's name in vain. I pushed my long hair back, laid my guitar in the grass, too embarrassed for her to hear. Reached through the tulips in the heather for a flower to give her, and I tucked it in her hair. It was a wild rose for an island girl, my wild rose. Cut to a scene of us standing on her front step, parents taking pictures of her posing in a prom dress. Take care of my car, her father slipped me the key. We drove away from the city and down to the beach, and her heart was in sight, but it was still out of reach. For the soul of a true wildflower belongs on the breeze. Well, I could see that she changed, that my love was in vain, and I was written out of the script. She stared out at the ocean with a sense of devotion, and it ended with a kiss stolen from the lips of a wild rose, island girl. My wild rose, island girl. Her soul that bends with the breeze, and her rolls on the seas, and what she says is what she means. She's like some transient spirit, you gotta feel it to know it. I still see her in my dreams, I see her in my dreams. My wild rose, island girl, my wild rose. Thanks, guys. It's funny, I've gotten used to the whole live stream. When you finish a song, you don't get the applause. It was odd for the first couple months, but I'm kind of used to it now. All right, guys, I got one more song here for you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for pledging some money to the hat. They're, the arts community in the Highland Arts Theatre needs your help more than ever, and they're still committed to bringing you awesome entertainment. So thanks everybody who's been donating and tuning in. I'm gonna sing you a new song of mine here. All right, this one's called "Someday the Stars Will Align." It was a fun one to write. It's kind of a goofy tune about some star-crossed lovers. Bring this in here. Yay, there we go. She had me as soon as she walked through the door, she cut through the crowd in that red dress she wore. The slow dance we shared left me wishing for more. Someday the stars will align. I asked for her number, she wrote it with ink on the back of my hand as we finished our drinks. The number she wrote washed away in the sink. Someday the stars will align. I went back to the club, started asking around, and I checked every hole in the wall in this town. Her phone never rang, I know I let her down. Someday the stars will align. The next time that I saw her, my heart skipped a beat. I was up on the train, she was down on the street. I waved and I shouted, but she didn't see. Someday the stars will align. Fed up and lonely, I split this old town. Then I heard from a friend, she was asking around. But by the time I got home, found out she settled down. Someday the stars will align. I picked up my heart that was broken in two, and I settled for less without her to pursue. We both were unhappy, but neither one knew. Someday the stars will align. We don't have to live with the fate of ships that pass in the night. We can run, we can fight, we can take back the night, despite the stars aligning in the sky. And the mailman arrived with a letter one week. He said, sorry it's late, son, it fell through the seats. It said she was single and she wanted to meet. Someday the stars will align. So I broke it off with the one I was with. By then she had taken her name off the list. So much for loving the one that you're with. Someday the stars will align. And I didn't want to get hurt like before, so I disappeared when she needed me more. Like a dog always on the wrong side of the door. Someday the stars will align. We don't have to live with the fate of ships that pass in the night. We can run, we can fight, we can take back the night, despite the stars aligning in the... She called it heads, well I'd call it tails. If she were a bird, I guess I'd be a whale. I can't seem to catch a good breeze in your sail. Someday the stars will align. And one night at the bar it happened again. I was staggering out, she was staggering in. She slipped me her address, whispered Monday at 10. Someday the stars will align. I read the address, but I wasn't sure if the number she wrote was a 9 or a 4. Now I'm out in the rain, knocking down strangers' doors. Someday the stars will align. Someday the stars will align. Yeah. Thanks very much, guys. Cheers.